Damn, really didn't want to hit record this week, but whatever. We just got to get into it. All right, guys, we're back for round four's review of the Supercoach season. If you couldn't tell, not happy with the team, not happy with the way the season's going. It's already at that point. It's tough to hit the record button. So many problems in the team. It's unbelievable. 2101 the score. Thank God I went up in rank, because if I went down again, I don't think I'd be recording this week. But again, saying that, I know there's a lot of teams that are doing it worse. You just got to remember, it's a fantasy game. You're playing it for the fun of it. If you find that you're not having fun with it, maybe it's time to put it down. There's no harm in not playing. It's just a fantasy game. It's not real. There's no money on the line or anything like that. So let's get into it. Dacos, 151. He's like the only player that is keeping me going. So thank God I've vice captained him, but I always was. I trust him. The shining light of the team. If I didn't start him, there probably wouldn't be a team. I probably would have quit by now, because everything else has gone wrong. This is like the seventh time I've had to record this, so kind of a blessing in disguise, because just as of let's have a look. I know should have brought this up beforehand, but I've got a tweet here from Mitch Cleary, 1:38 p.m, which is about an hour ago. Carlton Sam Docherty, who will miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after scans reveal a meniscus tear. So after an already extremely disappointing season, I mean, I say disappointing, but you look at the stats and 39 touches, 21 touches, 25 touches, something. It doesn't look as bad, but it's actually been pretty bad. At least now with the meniscus tear news, it's very easy to move on from Docherty. If there wasn't an injury, I probably would have kept him, because I don't see any value in trading someone that's dropped like 100k from his starting price. But yeah, this one hurts because it was a 50-50 call. Round one, it was like, I really like Dawson. I really like Docherty. Who am I going to pick? Just ended up to pick Docherty. They were the same price, basically. I think it's like 601 versus 605, which is like the same price. Just a 50-50 call. And because I got that wrong, I've dropped 160 points, I believe the difference is right now. So it's so stupid this year, so tough. I don't know, pick a word. Next we got Will Day, who was the trade-in. Traded out Warple and Callahan. So this one was for Warple, so made about 20 points on Warple. I think Warple ended in the 80s, or maybe it was high 70s. But yeah, Will Day was fine. I thought he was actually going to go a bit bigger, maybe like 120-ish, but Hawthorn fell apart in that final half, the second half. So that really limited his scoring, but a great first half from him. Hopefully he can keep it going. Stock has been good, but so have the Saints, and he feels like the type of player that the form of the team really dictates his own form. So if the Saints do start to fall off, I think Stocker is going to fall off as well, and vice versa. If Stocker starts to play bad, I could see the Saints, having a bit of a rough patch. But yeah, he's been good so far for 219k. No, 216k. He's been fine. I don't know if what's Liam Jones at? Well, this is how we'll be able to tell if it was a good trade. Jones 260, Stocker 290. All right, positive trade. Good. Jinby, rookie, can't expect 100 every week, or like an 80 plus every week. So this is why you look to upgrade your team. Like for those that knew, this is why you try to get rookies off field, because these bad scores are going to come. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. But yeah, he's been good so far this season. He's probably West Coast's best player still. So yeah, you take it. McKenna's been really good. Saves me from fielding one of these guys who have just been all over the place. Wilmot's had like, I want to say one good game. Yeah, 69's not great. And then Cowan is 51. Yeah. Neither of them have been that great, but thank God for McKenna stopping me from having to field one of them. Then on to the shambles of a midfield this is. Just, again, we start off with another 50-50 pick. Like, these two just getting two 50-50 picks wrong. And these aren't bad picks. Laird is not a bad pick going into the year. Look at his last year. Averages, schedule, everything should have been fine. It was not a bad pick. But God, in hindsight, was it a bad pick? So I think Clayton is like about 100 points better. So, one's dropped 50k. The other one's kind of gone up a little bit. So there's nothing you can do with this either. You just have to ride it out. Laird's going to get better as well. Like, he's not the type of guy that's going to hang around this 100 average. He's going to push 115, 120. Bont was pretty good, but that game was pretty poor to watch, at least for me, as a neutral fan of both teams. It wasn't an amazing game to watch, even though it was still close. This game was horrendous, GWS versus Essendon. Tom Green was fine. Still had, I think it was like 33 touches. Not sure, was it? Yeah, way over 30 touches. So statistically was fine. Game was very poor, like skill-wise. A lot of skill errors. A lot of just like kicking to the other team, like a uncontested kick, super easy, just go straight to the other team. Same thing for Setterfield as well. Just not the best game for everyone involved. And as for Setterfield, I think if you were looking to make an upgrade this week, and it was to a real upgrade, so say, I think Clayton's a bit too high. You probably want a down game from him before you bring him in. Kelly, Took, LDU might be a little high now. Anyone like that, I think this is a good upgrade. I wouldn't be doing this to like a Pendlebury who's like 520, I want to say, or Tom Mitchell, anything like that. I wouldn't do that because you're not gaining enough points versus the cash gen that Setterfield's still to make. So his break even's at 85. That's pretty hittable for him. Even at 87, 85, you should be able to hit it. Maybe not this week versus Melbourne, but who's he got next? Collingwood should be able to get it against Collingwood. Hopper was all right in his return game, coming off an injury. Granted, the injury was nothing special. It was nothing like crazy. I think he just had a little cut on his knee or something like that and turned into a bit of bruising. But yeah, like I said, the game wasn't that good. Still take it, I guess. You want a bit higher. You want closer to the 90 mark. But given just how poor some people have been, you take it. Ashcroft was fine. Mackenzie, not so much. So between these two, you're going to get one up score, one down score. Probably means you want Mackenzie to move into the M9 spot, like this M8, M9, so you can just bring in or loop through the better score between him and the rest of your bench. I just don't think he's a good on-field option. He can score, 89, 93, he can score, but you want consistency on field, so it doesn't make it great. End up going Ralston on field, saw Baker's score, thought, okay, well, I thought Ralston was going to get at least a 50. I was like, all right, well, that's 3 points better. Maybe he gets 55. That's, 7, 8 points better, whatever. Didn't end up happening. Ended up being 10 points worse, but both were bad scores, so it doesn't hurt that much. It's just, I wish we had a good score here. Both were bad, so. The rucks, I thought Darcy was really good this week. Freo still look bad. like their game plan, the way that they decide to play the game needs to change. Like whether that's telling Longmire to which one's he? Longmire? I can't. Whatever the Freo one is, um, maybe step away for a week. Let's get in a new game plan, see if that works, and maybe incorporate that. I don't know what it is, but you read the footy boards, which I do for WA teams. I find it funny. Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. The way they're currently playing. Darcy, his points are really getting hindered by hit outs to advantage. So the Freo midfield, I'll see if I can pull this up real quick. So yeah, like I got the stats up here, and 13 hitouts to advantage. I mean, that's good. Like you'll take that. 38 hitouts, 13 to advantage. It's a fine ratio considering like O'Brien's kind of at the same. But like on paper, I think you'd say Freo has the better midfield here. I think Laird's the best player on the field, but you look at, guys like Jackson, who's playing in the midfield, like as an on-baller. Sarong, O'Meara is all right. I'd say there's more skill overall on the Freo side. They're getting beat in hit-outs to advantage most weeks. And that's what caused the terrible North Melbourne score. He's probably doing a bit too much analysis on it, but the hit-outs here, he had 28 hit-outs, which is a good number, but there was just no to advantage. I wish this showed to advantage. Maybe just add one more in. I don't think we need to see the venue. Just put in hit-outs to advantage. Or just, slash it or something like that. He's struggling to get the advantage hits, which is where the ruckmen get their points from. Marshall, on the other hand, I didn't actually have him captain. This was like I said, I've recorded this like 6-7 times. Marshall has been a little weird. So Jared Witts was the laid out, which if you have Witts, don't trade him. It's a sideways trade, whoever you go onto. I think that you've missed the point if you missed the opportunity to go up from Witts. You wanted English, but you probably just missed it. And Witts will be back this week, so there's no point trading him. Marshall versus Ned Moyle. I think that's how you pronounce it. I didn't watch the game. You'd expect at least a ton. He went sub 100. I expected like domination from him. I expect like a 130 or something like that. Didn't happen. I don't know. I honestly, I saw an argument for captaining Marshall once I saw the Wits news, but thank God I didn't. I mean, I was never going to. I had 151 here, but say like this didn't happen. This isn't a bad shout against like a first gamer. You'd think, okay, well, he's got something here. Just nothing. And it's been kind of the story of the season for him. Not like this is impressive, I guess, against Tim English, who's pretty good, but against a poor Darcy, against Draper. I guess Draper's pretty good defensively. And then like against not Wits, we'll see how we go. But like, I guess he's got Ash Johnson and McStay this week. Hopefully he's a bit better, but just Marshall hasn't been the guy we thought he was to start the season. Onto the forward line, where there's another, like each line has had a 50-50 that hasn't gone my way. And that's the annoying part of this year. So this was a 50-50 with Dawson. This was a 50-50 with Laird. This was a 50-50 with English. And then this was a 50-50 with Goulden. All of which I've lost. That's the annoying part. And none are bad picks. Like, yeah, in hindsight, yes, because they scored less. But like in the moment of picking prior to round one, they weren't bad picks. Dunkley has not been amazing. Like I think his highest score is like 118 or 117. I thought he was going to be the number one scoring player in the league this year for Supercoach. It's far from what's happened. Nothing like he hasn't even broke a 120 yet, which is pretty unlike Dunkley. In this role, the midfield role, getting on-ball minutes. Yeah, hopefully it gets a bit better. Who they got this week? Brisbane North. I guess in a stadium they've never played in. We'll see. But yeah, Dunkley's been a little down. This is obviously a keep. Like, really, Dunkley, Taranto, Rosie, their score doesn't matter. Everyone has them. Maybe Rosie not so much, but you get the point. These three, everyone has them. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, it would be good if they were scoring better, just for rank and stuff like that, I guess. Taranto is good, but man, if you're a Richmond fan, I want to know how you feel about Taranto, because he does not take care of the footy at all. And like, I'm wearing a Cowboys thing here, but like, I come from the NFL. I watch a lot of NFL. Protecting the ball, protecting possession is like the number one thing. And it's like that in the AFL as well. It's not like that's a foreign concept here. You want possession of the ball. Taranto gives it up so easily. Like, hack kick after hack kick after hack kick. He just wants to get the ball forward without any like decision making, and it kills his score. Like, he could be a damn near 120 average player if he just didn't. If he took an extra second just to find a good target instead of just a target. But yeah, Taranto's good. I just wish he was a bit more efficient. Rosie, 84, take it. He was tagged for the first half, got free of it in the second half, built up his score there. You take it. I don't know why he got tagged and Oliver didn't. That's, unless Oliver was. I have like a breakdown in the, where was it? This one? No. Melbourne, Sydney. I couldn't watch it because I didn't have Oliver. I couldn't watch it. I was going to have a heart attack if I watched it. But yeah, it's a bit weird of a decision. Cogs, terrible again. Stats aren't that bad. So where is he? He's got 25 touches, a goal. Yeah, only 1 free against. It's not the worst. His tackles are low, right? I wish he was tackling a little bit more. Like 3 here is all right. You know, if he could get to like a 2 to 3 tackle average, that'd be. I'd like that a lot more. But yeah, I don't know what to do with Cogs. You have to keep. Oh, I know what to do. I know I'm keeping him. I'm not trading him. But man, is it tempting to do it. And it's another one of those 50-50s. Like, should I have picked Goulden? In hindsight, yes. But in the moment, I was like, well, Cogs has the more experience. So I like that as the better player. So I was like, all right, just pay up, get Cogs. I had the money in the bank anyway, so why not do it? Yeah, that's what happened. And Zeeble Sheasel, this dynamic duo is going to dominate the defense at the end of the year. Or what is it? Round 5, end of round 6, I think DPP adjustments come in. So they go in here. I don't have to field McKenna anymore. Don't have to field Jinby anymore, unless I put him in the midfield, which at this rate's probably going to happen. And then I just kind of loop the best out of Stocker and McKenna. I like that. But that means this forward line is going to be tough. Probably have to leave them here, actually, now I think about it. But Sheasel's a cheat code. Like, he just racks up so many free touches on the back line. Zeeble, the same thing. But Zeeble also is kind of playing as a good defender this year. Like, people are looking at Supercoach scores and everything, but if you watch the game, he's actually putting work into playing as a defender, which is good to see, I guess. But if he was less of a defender, he'd average more in Supercoach. You can see that through Dacos and stuff. Dacos is not a defender, even though he lines up at halfback. And then the forward bench was a bit rough. So put the Eon Combin. I knew this wasn't coming on field, so I just chucked it on him. And Fergus Green was all right. So he's kickstarted that cash gen. He's at a -15 break even. You take it. As for trades, like I said, Docherty's out 4 to 6 weeks. Has to trade. There is a bit of a discussion here on who to go with. So there, just up this bit so I can get both on screen. You got Jordan Dawson and Tom Stewart. These are the only two I'd really pick from. Sicily should be in that conversation, but I don't know. I think Dawson and Stewart are just an upper echelon, just because of their teams. Adelaide's better than Hawthorn, and Geelong's much better than Hawthorn. For Dawson, it's just a matter of have I missed the boat on him? Scored 173 this week. Upcoming schedule of Carlton, Hawthorn, Collingwood, Geelong. These three look juicy. This one, not as much. This one's alright because defenders are still scoring good against St Kilda. Dogs, it's whatever. But he's predicted to go up to 660k. And that's with, I guess 126 is possible. 107 is definitely possible. I don't know, maybe Dawson. Let me see Stewart. Stewart has West Coast. You think that's great. Like, you up here, you think, oh, West Coast, they're a bottom 4 team. Probably only going to win like a handful of games this year. That's great for Stewart. Well, from the Hawthorn game, we can see that when Geelong are dominating, he's not getting much of the ball. So 20 touches compared to 29 touches, that is almost completely because of the defense not having the ball against Hawthorn. I see the same happening versus West Coast. But then Sydney is a very good matchup in Geelong. Essendon's, I'd say, a good matchup. Adelaide in Geelong. Stewart scores good in Geelong, so I'd say that's a good matchup. It's a 174 against them. Man, I'm thinking Stewart. I think if I go Stewart, keeps 100k in the bank, which I'm going to need. So I'm thinking of cashing in Setterfield, but it's just a matter of to who. I'd really like Josh Kelly. This would be ideal because it would be a sideways and then a 1-up. It would take a boost because I think I go Comben out, and who's a solid rookie at this point? I think Van Rooyen. I still don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Actually, no, I'm not going him. Samson Ryan. Samson Ryan's going to be their number one. Oh, not number one, but their 15k. That's going to be the killer, is it? Let's see, what else can I do? Okay, I've got a plan. Put you back. If I trade Davey, Rosie down, Ryan in. Oh, just okay. I think this might be the trade. Maybe. Let me see break-evens real quick. Negative 15. What do I have to do? That. Negative 1. You're already in the positives. That's a bit of a not good sign. What if I went... What do you use that? Ooh, okay, so I'm not a fan of both of these guys. What if I dropped Wilmot? I guess Cowan's been worse. I should drop Cowan first. 180? Is that going to be... That's not going to be enough. Yeah, it's not enough. I need to do Wilmot. Well, if Docherty's out... again, I'm just doing this live. I'll probably change this 1,005 times, but do that, then do that, then do that. Is it 25k in the bank? I think I'm going to do this, at least for now. So, solves the Docherty problem. Upgrades Setterfield to a player I really like this year. I think Josh Kelly is perfect in this role that he's got, where it's on ball, and then his rest time is on the wing. I think that's the best you can get for him. And then Ryan's going to be their top forward with Lynch out, and their ruckman with Nankervis out. So I'm going to go with this for now. Also kind of lets me, I guess, loop between Jinby and Cowan. Would I do that, though? I guess it's good this week. What about next week? Yeah, you know what? This actually... I might do this. So I lose Dave... no, I don't lose Dave. I lose Wilmot, who still does have a bit of money to get. I'm cashing him in very early. I think he's got still another 30, 40k to make. But like I said, these two are going to go in defense, which means I don't need a super strong bench or anything like that, because it's going to be a bench of Stocker and McKenna, probably. Because Cowan's got to go to move Sheasel back. Hopefully Constable gets a game soon, just so I can cash him out. As soon as he plays his next game, he's out. Whatever he makes, he's out. Because I don't know if he's going to get multiple games. Even if he comes on as a sub, he'll just activate the cash gen. Then he's got to go. And then I guess I go like one of you guys out. Maybe Davey next week. Jinby midfield. Zeeble back there. But yeah, just thinking off the top of my head. That's 2 boosts used. But I think both have been kind of positive. They've fixed holes in the team. Not happy about this. Actually, I guess I can do that. Puts Mackenzie there. Can't loop. Can I? No. I guess not having Van Rule, whatever JVR, we'll just say, could mean I'm missing out on a bit of cash gen here, but I think I'm making it up in Samson Ryan's scoring, which hopefully just gets around the 70s mark. But yeah, I think that's about it for this week. Hopefully we're on the uptick for Supercoach, because boy has it been rough this year. Was really hoping that this week would be AFL 23's release, because I have a lot of stuff planned for that. Star Team, Manager Mode, Career Mode, all of it I was kind of having planned. I've got some mock-up thumbnails and stuff. Going to be delayed till next month, so we've got another month of Supercoach.